We continue to get requests for CELPIP reading classes. It is the hardest module right now, even more than speaking in the recent few months. And this is happening because the criteria is getting more difficult. You have that surprise part. We're going to talk about all of that. But first, I'm going to tell you, if you don't know this already, reading levels, the difficulty level increases as you go down. So reading part 1 is the easiest, part 4 is the hardest, so that's the sequence it goes in. Which means if you do a good job at part 4, you're going to be good. You can save your reading mark, but if you screw up part 4, you're lost. You will definitely score lower. So in this video, we're going to focus mainly on this. I'm going to give you a really good strategy at the start. Then we're going to look at a few questions where you will see some strategies that will surprise you on how easy they are, but they will save you on the exam date. Let me talk about the extra part. So there are unscored items you get. So there are 4 parts, right? Technically, there should be 4 parts. That's what you see on all online mock tests, on our mock tests as well. But in the exam, you might get a 5th part or a 6th part, and usually it's a duplicate of one of the parts, which means part 2, which is the picture, you might get another part 2. Or part 4, which we're looking at right now, it's a paragraph form, and then you have multiple choice questions plus an article. So this format, again, you might get another article like this with the same amount of questions. So this extra unscored item could be either 1 or 2 sections. You wouldn't know which one is unscored. So you have to do your best in all those sections that are given to you, because any one of them can be scored. CELPIP does that for their strategy, for their survey purposes, I should say, and they make new exams based on assessing students' performances. So that will tire you because the exam will become longer. That's the only disadvantage, but make sure to consider every section important, even the extra parts, because you really don't know which ones are extra parts. Okay, so the golden strategy when you go to part 4, and again, this is going to solve so many of your issues, is to understand the debate. Look at the start. It says reading for viewpoints. This section has 2 people or more, usually, arguing about something. If you can figure out what the debate is, what the controversy is, you will get a hang of this. So here's what I would like you to do right now. Look at paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. Just read them, pause this video, and then unpause it after you have read the first 3 paragraphs. Okay, so this is the next part. If you haven't unpaused the video, do it now. And here, now assume you're talking to me or you're talking to a student or your friend. Explain to them what Nadine Barrow wants and what Jeff Larkin wants. Go ahead, pause the video again to do that. Okay, if you have done that, and if you have said these things, then that means you have understood this whole paragraph. So you should say something similar to, well, Nadine Barrow is more on stability, don't take risks, don't expand, have suitable lifestyle and work balance. But this guy, Jeff Larkin, is all about growth. He wants entrepreneurship. He wants development and marketing strategies. He's all about that. He doesn't care about stability. Did you say this? If you did, that means you understood the debate. The rest of it, honestly, I'm telling you, you don't even have to read the rest of it. You can, again, just go ahead and answer all the questions. You will be accurate, because that's all this whole article is about. The argument between Nadine Barrow and Jeff Larkin on business expansion versus stability. This is important to understand, and I would highly recommend, because you will notice your concentration gets so much better if you do this one more thing, is feel that you are picking one person. So I'm going to choose Jeff Larkin because I'm a business person too. I believe in expansion and growth. So if I choose to be this person, I'm now invested. Now I hate Barrow. So I'm looking at everything she's saying with critique, and everything Jeff Larkin is saying resonates with me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree with this and that and so on. Why this will help me, because later on, you have this article, right, where this random person comes and looks at the first article and they make their opinion based on the first article. Now, let's look at this person. He says, clearly, Barrow doesn't understand the issues faced by today's business people. Okay, this is my friend. This is on my side, because Jeff Larkin, I, and this guy, we all don't like Barrow. Okay, we all want businesses to grow, but this guy doesn't like Barrow. Now I know the rest of these answers. Now I know 6 to 10, the answers are going to be negative, anti-Barrow, and pro-Jeff Larkin. So that means the next one will be she will likely, these are the options. You can see it's question number 6. Inspire all her clients? No, we're negative about her. Lose all her clients? Yeah, that's most likely a negative answer. Benefit and prevail are positives, so no. I'm gonna pick this option, lose all her clients, and now I know the tone and I'm gonna keep going. That is why I have said in one of my previous videos, make sure you give this part only 20% of the time in section 4, and the previous part, like these questions up here, you give it 80% of the time, because at this part you are reading and understanding the passage. But when you're here, you already know what the argument is and you know which side this person is picking on, okay? Or sorry, which side this person is choosing. Picking on the other person is what I meant. Now, you can see in this answer, what happened was there were 1, 2, and 3 positive answers and 1 negative answer. Obviously, you cannot have 3 correct answers. It's 1. So the one that stands out was the answer. It's not the best strategy to use this, but it works in cases like this. Question number 4 confuses a lot of my students. Okay, you can pause it, read it, answer it. Okay, now if you have done that, let's go to the answer. The question was, first of all, Jeff Larkin is hesitant to endorse Barro's new philosophy because... So why is Jeff Larkin hesitant about Barro? Is because companies need internal stability for success. Larkin doesn't want stability. They often overextend themselves and perish. No, Larkin wants the companies to extend and grow. Companies that don't expand may go bust in a downturn. Yeah, Jeff Larkin keeps saying that. You gotta expand, you gotta grow. Entrepreneurs can become too stressed to cope with challenges. No, Jeff Larkin doesn't care about your stress or stability. He wants growth. So obviously this is our answer. We got this answer by 2 means. I'm going to discuss that. And the third mean I'm also going to talk about. One is logical deduction, right? We looked at all the options. We said, okay, this one makes most sense. So we picked the right one. The other thing is we also eliminated the other 3 options. It's not like you just look at the first correct answer and don't look at the other options. For example, if the correct answer was here, and if you're that kind of candidate who looks at just A and ignores B, C, D because you got your answer at A, let me tell you, a lot of times in CELPIP, there are 2 correct answers. One is just more correct than the other. So you got to look at the other options too. So make sure you use elimination. And the third one is what I was discussing earlier, is this option is a different tone. This is focusing on expansion. Everything else is focusing on stability and not expanding. It's more on balance, which is what Barro wanted. So you can see the one that stands out is obviously the answer, because the other 3 altogether cannot be the answer. They're all saying the same thing. Okay, this is very helpful when it comes to vocabulary. Sometimes you have 4 options, you understand the 3 options, the 4th one, you don't understand the wording. And if you can eliminate the other 3, the 3 that you understood are not fitting the question, they are not the right answers, it is most likely the one you don't understand. The 4th, the 3rd option, whichever it is, where the vocab is too difficult for you to understand, but you know the other 3 are incorrect, then pick the one you don't understand. That is called an educated guess. Don't be shy to do that. A lot of people do that and they get the right answer. This is another trick to get the accurate answer. And that means, that also brings us to our final thing. You understood the debate, you have divided the time accurately, you use elimination, all those things. Make sure, guys, please look at your vocabulary and practice that, because recently the level of reading has gone up and a lot of things have changed. The extra parts are annoying people, getting them tired, but the vocab level has really shot up. That means the words here are hard to understand, and when you see them in the questions, they're paraphrased with, again, fancy wordings. If you have basic vocab, I would highly recommend going to our blog. Our blog link is in the description. You can type there 400 CELPIP words. You will see a list of 400 best words to use for CELPIP. Memorize them. In our CELPIP course that is also included in the description, you get 800 words in total, plus 200 phrasal verbs, and a whole 1-hour lesson on vocabulary that you should really go through, because that will help you not only in reading, but also in writing and speaking. Okay, so make sure you follow all these strategies and especially work hard on part 4. That will help you for your overall reading mark. Good luck.